Bonjour, bienvenue. Thank you all for joining us here this morning on short notice. In particular, those streaming live, including TSN 1200, TSN.ca, Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet.ca, and our own Senders network on OttawaSenders.com and Facebook Live. We'll open up procedure this morning. We'll open up with Pierre. I'll have a few comments. Then we'll open up to questions. Matt won't have any time for one-on-one, so please take all questions from the audience. We have mics on both sides, so you just let us know if you have a question. We will go from there. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Senders General Manager Pierre Dorion.
Well, first of all, thank you for coming. Merci à tout le monde d'être présent ce matin. I hope I didn't ruin too many Sunday evening dinners. I know it was my son's birthday dinner, and I left after my bowl of wonton soup, so I apologize to him, first of all. Obviously, yesterday was a great day for our Senders franchise. After a great playoff run last year, we feel we've added an elite forward to our group, someone who's been on Canada's Olympic gold medal team, been part of the World Cup winning team, someone that we feel that can help us take to the next level. We've acquired a player that we're really excited about acquiring. We felt this deal for us was a no-brainer in what we had to give up. Obviously, you never like to give up on younger players, but I think the job that Trent Mann, our chief amateur scout, and that was probably the toughest call I had to do yesterday. And then previous to him, Bob Lowe's, the work that these gentlemen did before and gathering all the prospects that we had allowed us to do this deal. We all know that the future is always now. We feel we're on the right path. Another reason we felt this deal was important for us to do is a lot of the players last year played for the longest they've ever played. And we all thought maybe there'd be a little bit of a dip in our play this year. And to me, if we exclude Saturday, it's been our team is on the right path. And the players have taken it upon themselves to continue that path that we were on last year. Now, we're not going to win every game from now to the end of the year. Knock on wood. But at the same time, we're really encouraged with the direction that this team is going. And for us not to give up guys like Thomas Chabot, Colin White, Logan Brown, Alex Formington, Drake Batherson, Philip Chaplik, Christian Jaros, Andreas Englund, all guys that we think are going to play, and I'm probably forgetting, we felt that it was a good step for our organization. At the same time, I'd like to thank Mr. Melnick. I had a few conversations with him yesterday, and his only line was, Pierre, do what you need to do to make this hockey team better. And at the end of the day, we felt that this was the right direction. And I'd also like to thank Allison Vaughn and Randy Lee for bearing with me on a hectic Sunday. So we're open to questions.
Any questions, you can please say your name and your outlet before you ask, and then we're going live.
Pierre Brent Wallace from TSN. What happened over the 48 hours when it seemed that this trade was possibly dead to now and to making it happen?
Well, in three-way trades, it's always very complicated. I got to say in all of this, Nashville from the get-go has always been interested in acquiring Kyle Turris. David and I talked all through September, all the way leading up to the start of the season, and I said if Kyle hadn't been traded by then, that we'd probably end up keeping him for the year. And then Joe and I have had great conversations over probably the last since I've been general manager. I remember I told Joe at my first GM's meeting, if you ever think about trading Matt, just let me know. And that was in Buffalo last year's draft. And I think what happened, and I think two people that probably won't get any credit here, Chris McFarland, who's the assistant GM, and Paul Fenton, who's the assistant GM of Nashville, and Chris is for Colorado, were at the same college game. So I teased Randy. I told him, how come you weren't at that college game? But he was in Belleville on Friday night. And I think those two guys got together late Friday night, and because Joe and I always had a deal. But the part of this deal to make it more complicated is that David and Joe needed to figure out a deal. And sometimes that's where good assistant GMs come in. And from what I'm led to believe, Chris and Paul Fenton talked to their bosses, and they kind of like figure out between the four of them what could happen. And that's the information I'm given. And I know it was a very crazy Friday night for a lot of people. And a few of us were a little bit frustrated because we thought this deal was going to get done. And we wanted Matt in our lineup as quickly as possible. For some of you that know, we had a plane waiting for him in Philly. So he could fly up here for Saturday to play against Vegas. And, you know, I think that's as much as I know. I think sometimes in three-way deals, it gets a bit complicated. And everyone has to be happy. And I can tell you in this deal, I think the Avalanche have gotten a lot of great pieces for the future. The Predators have got a really good player that was outstanding for us over the 6 or 7 years that he was here. And we feel we got an elite player that was, you know, part of the Canada's Olympic team. Someone who was a big part of the Canada's World Cup team. Someone that we think makes us a better team right now. And we're on the path to trying to win right now.
Kyle, any end?
Kyle Bukowski from Sportsnet. Matt, just the last year, questions you faced, the patience and the rest, and to now kind of be here now, is it a weight off your shoulders, or what's kind of the emotions when you landed in Ottawa?
Yeah, for sure, relief that it's kind of behind me. It was a long time, obviously, going through everything. You know, I have nothing but great things to say about my time in Colorado, the people there. You know, it's pretty tough to, you know, there's no such thing as a perfect human being, but I think for me, Joe Sakic is pretty darn close. So he's a guy I looked up to my whole life, and, you know, a lot of people, I think, pinned us against each other a little bit at times, and it was never that way. We had a great relationship the whole time, and we both had a tear in our eye yesterday when he talked to me. So I have nothing but great things to say. It was my favorite team as a kid, and it was an honor to have played there. And now turning the page here with coming here to Ottawa, I'm beyond excited. 3 hours from home, back in my home province with a team that I've been keeping my eye on for a long time. I think just to see the way these guys play and the skill level, and you know, it's a great market, you know, great fans. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to get started.
Again, Terry, your live song.
Pierre, Ian Mendes with TSN 1200.
The Drive with Ian and Sean Simpson, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Free plug. That's perfect stuff. Could you maybe just walk us through the negotiations with the Turris camp? Because I think a lot of us externally figured this would be an easy deal to get done, that Kyle wanted to stay here, that the organization liked him, and then it appeared to get off the rail somewhere. Could you maybe just walk us through what happened with Kyle Turris?
The negotiations for me were always healthy. With Kyle, what happened is, you know, value of the contract, that was never an issue, because Kyle's a good player. He's played great for us. We're very thankful for what Kyle's contributed, and one of the reasons we had so much success over the past few years was because of Kyle Turris. And when it came to the contract negotiation, we just felt that there wasn't going to be a lot of movement from 7 and 8 years. 6 years was never put on the table. So, and at the same time, we're okay with that. You know, we feel that we acquired a good player, and today's not about Kyle, but we wish Kyle the best of luck. Nashville went to the Cup final, and they've added a piece to their team, so they're going to be even a better team. But today's about us acquiring Matt Duchene, and, you know, Brian Morris told me I can be happy, but not wedding day happy, so I'm very happy today.
Hi, Terry Marcotte from CTV. And this is kind of, for both of you, how is Matt going to make the team better, Pierre? And then I would follow up to Matt, and how do you see yourself fitting into the chemistry and the makeup here for the Ottawa Senators?
Well, I've watched a lot of Colorado since I became general manager of this hockey team, and I know Matt had some ups and downs in Colorado. But we just feel the baggage that he brings to our team, the way we play, the way we counterattack, our speed, his strength down low with the puck, his shooting ability, his passing ability, his ability to play. He's been a number one center for a long time. And I don't know where he fits on our team. That's always up to Coach Boucher. He decides who plays with who and what happens. But at the same time, he's gone up against the best matchup defensemen on the other teams, and it just gives us a lot of flexibility, you know, to us to have 2, 3, 4 lines that can go with adding him to our lineup. So obviously we all think he's going to have a big impact here. There'll be an adjustment period. I don't think I'd like for Matt to score 5 goals in both the games against Colorado, but we know that's probably not going to happen. But at the same time, we all feel, our hockey department, our coaching staff, our pro scouts, that we're a better hockey team today. And where we finished last year, on the trek that we're on this year, And to me, as I talked about it before, it told me a lot when our players right from day one this year started to perform to their best ability. There was no drop off in our play. There was no, oh, we played till end of May last year and it's going to take a while to get going. And that's when you put all the pieces together and you talk internally with our coaching staff and with Randy and our pro scouts, said, you know what, these guys really want to win. These guys are showing us that they're going to do everything in their power to perform to their best ability. And when players perform, it just, you have to do something. And we felt that we had to do something.
Yeah, sorry, I'll answer. Yeah, for me, yeah, I mean, I think Pierre touched on the kind of strengths of my game, and I just want to bring that here. And this is a team that was one goal away from the Stanley Cup Finals last year, and had they got there, I mean, you never know what happens, and that's something that I am dying for, is to have the opportunity at that, and to be here on this team that I believe a lot in already. It's very special, and I just want to come in and, there's going to be an adjustment process. Hopefully it's short, but I just want to bring my best to this team, and I want to be part of a long playoff run. That's the goal.
2 questions, because I'm selfish. One is, did Kyle Turris' side or camp ever request a trade or make it clear that they wanted a change of scenery? And Matt, can you comment about playing against your former team here in your first 2 games and what that would be like?
No. Kyle, they never requested a trade as far as we want out, we're not going to play. No. You know what? Kurt Overhart and I had very healthy discussions all along this process. And at the same time, we felt, us, the Ottawa Senators, that we weren't going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it was probably best for everyone to move on, but a formal trade request is Kyle coming in the office, slamming the door and saying, I want to be traded. That never happened.
Yeah, on a lighter note, it's going to be very strange. Obviously, first of all, playing a game in Sweden is strange. Back-to-back is tough. And then playing against my former teammates and friends is going to be even weirder. And but at the same time, I think there's going to be, the more I think about it, there's going to be a level of comfortability there, because I play against these guys in practice every day, or had. So it's going to be strange to be on the other side. I know I'm going to look a little bit weird at first in the different colors, but I think it's a good opportunity to start this off on the right note, and obviously there's a little bit of extra motivation there to start off well as a team against them for me, and hopefully we have 2 really good games over there.
To your right, Bruce and Lisa.
Matt Bruce-Garriock from Post Media, and I got a question for you, Pierre. Matt, why was the change of scenery so important, and how difficult was it when you asked for a trade so long ago to have to stay there that long?
Well, first of all, asking for a trade out of Colorado from Joe Sakic, who was my idol as a kid, was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And it was something I sat on for a long time. I wanted to see how things panned out. And last year when it happened, it was around the time that I saw kind of the writing on the wall in terms of the future of that franchise, in terms of the rest of my contract. And, we had a horrific year last year, and I could see a rebuild coming. It was something I'd been a part of multiple times, and I just couldn't do it. I just felt like I wanted to play playoff hockey. I mean, I've got 8 playoff games to my name right now, and for me, that's not where I want to be at this point in my career. So I felt like I only get one shot at this. I get to play this game for however long my body lets me play it, and I felt last year that I also wanted to give Joe the chance to move me before his back was against the wall. I wanted so that he could do what was best for his team. I have enough respect for him and my teammates for that. So I wanted to let him know that I think it would be the right time to move on. So and the past 11 months I've been checking my phone a lot more than I can't wait to not have to look at it as much. It's gonna be nice, and I'm just excited to be able to move on with my future and hopefully be a positive part of this team.
Pierre,
How are you, Bruce?
I'm good. You have been relentless in your pursuit of Matt Duchene. I guess why?
Why? He's a great hockey player. For us, whenever I always like to get, every day I come up the stairs at practice, you ask me if we're going to make a trade, and every day I tell you, Bruce, we're always looking to improve our hockey team. And I know with us adding Matt Duchene, we've improved our hockey team. We were a pretty good hockey team. We're on the right path, and adding an elite player of his caliber to our group, I think, just makes us even a better hockey team.
Lisa Wallace, Canadian Press. Matt, just a bit of a follow-up on Bruce. Does the mental weight of wanting that trade and waiting for it, do you feel it affected your game? And now that it's gone, do you maybe feel you can even play to a higher level? And do you feel the pressure? I mean, for what Turris was to this team, do you feel you need to be even better to make Pierre's move feel that much better?
I was wondering if I was going to get that question, and the best way I can answer it is Kyle Turris is a hell of a hockey player, and I'm not trying to replace him or be better, anything like that. I just need to come here and be the best version of myself. And last year was the hardest thing I've ever been through in terms of being on a hockey team when, you know, we went so far down the drain, and I struggled. I was dealing with this stuff. It was a maturity process for me, a learning process, and I think something that's made me stronger. And I feel like if I could handle that, I can handle almost anything at this point. So I felt like this year coming in, I had a very different outlook, and I didn't expect to be back in that uniform coming into camp, but I was, and that was something that I had to adjust to, and I needed to bring my best, and I wanted to bring my best for my teammates. And that was something I was very committed to, and I feel like I've had a really good start to the season, and I want to keep it going here. But I think there's another level I can get to in my game. I think I think a lot of the time my numbers haven't reflected the way I've played at times, and it's been frustrating. And I'm hoping that, and I'm confident that that's going to change here.
Alexandre Tournier de RDS. Pierre, vous en avez parlé un peu en anglais. Qu'est-ce qui vous a poussé à aller de l'avant avec cette transaction-là, malgré un prix qui était quand même assez élevé? Est-ce que vous êtes en mesure de nous tracer aussi une ligne du temps des négociations qui ont mené à cette transaction-là?
Pour nous, ma réponse à la première partie de ta question, pour nous, là, on ne pense pas que le prix était élevé. Puis, juste acquérir un joueur de la trempe de Matt Duchene, pour nous, c'est quelque chose d'excitant pour notre organisation. Pouvoir ajouter quelqu'un qui a fait partie des équipes olympiques gagnantes du Canada, de l'équipe de la Coupe du Monde pour le Canada, encore qui a gagné, et qui était une partie intégrale de cette équipe. On était définitivement prêt à payer ce prix-là. Quelqu'un qui est encore sous contrat pour nous pour les 2 prochaines années. Quelqu'un qu'on sait qui améliore notre équipe de hockey en ce moment. C'est quelque chose qu'on était très excité. En fait, la ligne du temps, je me rappelle à ma première rencontre de directeur général l'année passée, j'ai parlé avec Joe disant si jamais Matt, tu voulais échanger Matt, qu'on serait toujours fait sûr de m'appeler, on était toujours disponible. Puis quand ça vient, je pense que les discussions, j'ai parlé à Joe au courant du camp d'entraînement. Et puis par la suite, on a recommencé à parler, les discussions sont devenues beaucoup plus intenses lors des 2-3 dernières semaines.
Pierre, au tout début, tu as dit que les conversations difficiles hier ont été avec tes dépisteurs, Trentman. Peux-tu nous expliquer un peu la nature, qu'est-ce qui était difficile dans cette discussion-là?
La raison c'était difficile avec mon dépisteur-chef amateur, Trentman, c'est que l'année passée, c'était sa première année. Et je pense qu'il a fait un travail exceptionnel. On était chercher Shane Bowers qui faisait partie de l'acquisition. Mais c'est l'Avalanche qui voulait Shane Bowers. En plus, on lui a enlevé son choix de première ronde cette année. Et puis, tu sais, les dépisteurs amateurs, j'étais un dépisteur amateur pendant longtemps. On travaille fort. La journée de repêchage, c'est notre journée. Donc, puis pour plusieurs d'entre vous, comme la journée des dates limites des échanges, c'est la journée à M. Gary Hawk. Mais pour le restant de nous, pour les dépisteurs amateurs, c'est très important. Et je me sentais mal parce que Trent a fait du travail exceptionnel depuis qu'on l'a nommé. On regarde juste la première année. Bowers, Formington, Batherson, c'est des choix exceptionnels. en première, deuxième et quatrième ronde. Donc, c'est pour ça que c'était difficile.
En suivi à cette question-là, il y a eu des négociations pendant très longtemps, donc j'imagine qu'il y a d'autres noms de vos espoirs qui ont été mentionnés. À quel point c'est important de protéger ceux qui sont des blue chips ou...
Tu réponds à ta question en même temps. C'était énormément important de protéger des joueurs comme Thomas Chabot, qu'on a vu comment Logan Brown a bien fait en début d'année. Et puis en même temps, pour un gars comme Colin White. Mais en disant ça, on a quand même beaucoup de bons prospects.
Just a question for each of you. Matt, there's been a lot made of Guy Boucher's system, and sometimes it takes a while for players to adapt to it. How familiar are you with Guy Boucher's system, and do you expect there'll be a little bit of an adjustment period here for you?
Yeah, there always is, but I've had the chance to play. I've been very lucky to play for Team Canada several times at different events, and every time you walk into that scenario, it's a different coach with different systems. So that's something that I've seen a lot of different variations. I know, if I'm not mistaken, he likes to play a 1-3-1, and I played that with Patrick Waugh, so I'm a little bit familiar with that. And I think that's something that people have made a lot of in the past, but for me, it's going to be just a adjustment back to that system that I play with Patty. So I know the coaches are going to do a great job catching me up and getting me adjusted, and I'm going to do my very best to catch on quick and hopefully not blow my coverage too many times early here.
And Pierre, are you still looking for help up front? I know you've landed your big fish here.
Usually Bruce asks me that question.
Yeah.
If we can improve our team, we'll always look at it. And at the same time, you know how this is. It's a long year. For today, I think we're done. We've got a big 2 games coming up, and I know when we get back, we got a huge game against Pittsburgh, and we're all looking forward to that game also. We got a few games at home before we go on the road. Hopefully our fans can get behind us and be loud, and they can see in person a player like Matt play. And on the other hand, I wanted to mention this. We all heard about what was going on in Colorado with Matt, and the one thing that really impressed me about Matt is that obviously he'd asked for a trade, but what showed me his true character is no matter what, in tough circumstances, he went to camp, he played well during the year, never said a word publicly, never said a bad word about the Avalanche, and that told me a lot about his character.
Hey, Matt. Craig Manelli with OttawaSenators.com. Just curious, with number 9 unavailable, if you've picked a new number and maybe what went into deciding on it?
That was one of the hardest things that also I had to decide on. Wearing number 9, that's been a big part of me growing up. I've worn it for a long time, and I'm a hockey fanatic, and has kind of, somebody who's followed it a long time. I wore it because of Maurice Richard, and obviously Bobby's got it here, and 19's my other number I wore because of Joe, and that's also taken. So I had to get a little creative. I wore number 5 growing up, and I wore number 9 as a kid. So I put them together. I'm going to wear 95. So I think it's a little bit different, maybe a little flashier than I wanted to go, but I felt like it was something that gets me back to my roots as a kid, and it's something that hopefully goes with me well. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys.